Hey everybody, Tim here with today's review of Doctor Who, story number 55, Terror of the Autons. So this story brings us into season 8 of the series, which if you could tell from the last few reviews I've done, they drastically shorted the seasons. So, I mean, realistically, the first 3 Doctors did pretty close to the same amount of episodes, but if you look at William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, their seasons were like 40, 50 episodes a season, and they each did 3 seasons. Whereas when we look at the third Doctor, like his seasons are so much shorter, but he does it for like 5 years, 6 years. So it's kind of interesting. So we're already into the new season, season 8, which also brings us to 1971 in the year. So I think that's pretty amazing. So it also brings in a new villain and a new companion, and this is really kind of where the third Doctor kind of hits his stride a little bit. So it starts out pretty interesting right off the bat with the Master, and he has his own little TARDIS, which it like pops up at the carnival, I think it was, as a van. So it's like, okay, so we already have a Time Lord villain, so that's kind of cool. It introduces the new companion of Jo Grant, and it really kind of disappointed me. Liz was not a favorite companion of mine, but they didn't even give her a send-off, which was really disappointing. And they kind of say it in passing. They're like, oh, Liz went back to Cambridge, and she said, all she did was hand you test tubes and tell you how brilliant you are. So she thought she could do something better. And it's it's a little disappointing. Even though I didn't like her that much, I still would have liked to have had a goodbye type moment. So, when another Time Lord shows up and actually warns the Doctor about the Master, because remember, the Doctor's on Earth and he's basically almost in jail, he's being punished on Earth, so he can't leave or do anything. And another Time Lord actually shows up and is like, just so you know, somebody else is here too. This is where we finally kind of get the Master's plan, where he's creating Autons. The whole, where he blows up the plastic chair and then it, eats the guy was so cheesy. It was so over the top, just like most of this storyline. Same for, the creepy doll thing, where it's clearly, a dude in a suit and he's, running around. It's almost, like Puppet Master or something. It's so bad. Where the Doctor rips off the face of the driver, and the driver's actually an Auton. We see stuff like that. The Doctor being, strangled by the phone cord. Probably the most, actually intense moment for me watching this, because most of this is so cheesy. The only scene that actually kind of got me to jump a little bit was where Jo has, the daffodil, and it actually, sprays on her face, and she starts suffocating, and the Doctor has to, peel it off. That was actually pretty interesting. I was like, okay, I like that. The Master has the line of, you're my only intellectual equal, which, I mean, as we continue throughout the years, the Master, clearly abandons that line of thought and is like, I'm better than you. The Doctor mentions how they have to, change the polarity, which, again, it started that, change the polarity of the neutron flow. So now we got the neutron flow mentioned earlier. Now we got the change the polarity type coming on. And then, of course, at the very end, where the Master is actually one of the dummies, basically. It's one of the Autons. And then, so the Master's stuck on Earth as well, because the Doctor actually stole his device from his TARDIS. So they're both basically stuck there on Earth now. So overall, it's not a great story. So far with the third Doctor, I have not been super impressed, but I can see where they're putting some of the bricks down for future stories and future good villains and stuff like that. I'm not super impressed, but I'm super excited to see the Master now. Like I said, this is a big stepping stone. He's going to be here throughout the rest of Doctor Who. And then Jo is an okay companion. I don't really remember a lot about her, actually. I know she lasts a lot longer than Liz, but overall, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of interchangeable, at least at this point. As I get to know Jo, that opinion will change, but as of right now, I'm still kind of disappointed that Liz didn't get a goodbye, and now we have this new, younger one. So overall, it's not a bad story, but it's not the greatest story for the third Doctor. I don't think I have a favorite yet. So what do you guys think about this? What do you think about the first appearance of the Master? What do you think about the Autons' return? And what do you think about Joe's debut? So go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you next time for The Mind of Evil.